The laser engraving wave hit YouTube like a tsunami, and it hit also me. There were new videos with new machines nearly every week, but in most of the cases middle-aged men with big bellies show you how to engrave cutting boards, keychains and coasters. Super boring in my opinion. Please don't get me wrong, I'm knocking myself at the door of the Middle Ages, but I asked myself, where's the cool stuff for our young guns? And then I thought, why not showing you the cool laser stuff? And yeah, when it comes to cool stuff for the young generation, there are two main facts. The first one are action sports and the second one cool graphics. And thank God I'm an expert for cool graphics because I'm a graduated designer and artist. And thinking of action sports, I thought, why not doing something on wheels? And what can be on wheels? Yes, a skateboard. You have seen it in the thumbnail. And that's what we are doing. Cool laser graphics on skateboards in this video. Let's go. Yeah, I know you want to see the laser in action and the cool graphic, but laser engraving can be super dangerous, but it can be also fun. So let's talk about the rules. A little bit of parental advisory, not from me, I'm not a parent, but yeah, listen to these short points. The first point on the list is laser parts need to be as flat as my jokes. I'll show you later why. Second point on the list, fire extinguisher on hand, and I mean on hand. Here, not 100 meters away, and when you come back you have such a fireball. Third point on the list, no plastic except acrylic. Yeah, that's a huge topic. So general, no plastic except acrylic. Inform yourself about the materials which are usable and which not. If you use PVC, you can produce chlorine gas, which is absolutely dangerous for you, also for your machine. So it's good when you heard of that. Next point on the list, ventilation or do it outside. I have a huge paint booth with a huge ventilation and I can do it in the paint booth. If you don't have a good ventilation, do it outside. And the last and super important point on the list, safety glasses every time. And I mean every time in lasering, doesn't matter how ridiculous you're looking with these glasses. When you're lasering, you're wearing these glasses, and when you're done, you can put them off and you're looking as cool as before. Let's do the laser engraving. Yeah, not so fast, my friends. Were you ever in school where someone in front of you talked for hours and hours and the cool experiments happened only within minutes? Yeah, before we can start, we have to talk about the technical specs of laser engraving, because that's exactly why I wanted to do a skateboard. I searched on the internet how to do it, and guess what? I found only these advertisement pictures, and they are truly fake, they are photoshopped, they are not real. And yeah, that's not what I expect when buying an expensive machine. I want to see the real deal and how it's done, not a Photoshop picture. And that's the reason why I'm doing this video, to find out if we can do a skateboard. And yes, check my first rule, laser parts need to be as flat as my jokes. And now we run in the first issue, because skateboards are absolutely not flat. They are curved like a banana. Yeah, not so much like this banana, but a little bit of course, and that can run us in trouble, because laser engraving needs a flat surface of course, because of the focus point. These are the laser heads of the laser engravers, and you have the diodes inside the laser head, and these diodes produce a laser beam with a small focus point. It's very small, and in general the laser beam is more than an X, like so. The focus point is in the middle, and you should place the material you like to laser in the middle of the focus point like this. And in this graphic I like to show you the trouble we can run into, because that's our curved skateboard, and the laser can only move left to right, not up and down. And when it moves left to right, the position in the middle is perfect for laser engraving. But when you follow the curve of the skateboard, the focus point is not on the material. The laser beam gets bigger and bigger, and at the end you're painting with a marker, not with a small Sharpie, and that can run us in trouble. But let's find out if it's possible to engrave the skateboard. So xTool sent me the xTool D1 Pro diode laser engraver with the extension kit. Exactly the one from the advertisement pictures, with a 20-watt laser head and an overall bed size of 936 by 432 mm, perfect to laser engrave skateboards. The D1 Pro came also with spacer blocks, and these are needed to raise the laser bed for the rotation tool, or in my case to have enough space for the skateboard underneath the laser bed. I had to remove the rubber plugs of the feet of the laser bed, and then I can screw in the spacer blocks into the original feet of the laser. And I have to do this, of course, on every 4 edges of the laser. The first thing I wanted to test was the focus point of the laser, so I made a fake skateboard. I used a cardboard stencil, double-sided tape and some straps of scrap plywood. I glued them together with the double-sided tape, used the bandsaw to shape them. I cut also a sheet of plywood and nailed the plywood onto the straps with my nail gun, and my fake skateboard is ready for the first test burn. I put my test piece in the laser, and before I can do the engraving I have to set the focus point with the focus stick on the laser, and I set the focus point on the highest point of my test piece. Let's talk about the test piece and the setup for the speed and the power. Yeah, it's looking good at the first try, but it was not really the first try. I did test pieces before on scrap wood. I had flying around at the shop, and what's very important is that you use exactly the same wood species like the skate deck. That's poplar plywood, very light, as you can see. That's darker wood, maybe cherry or beech, I'm not sure. It's from an old piece of furniture, but I had not enough of this plywood of the poplar, so I had to use the cherry. And when you compare these two, on the cherry the burn is super dark, nearly black, and on the poplar plywood it's light brown. So have that in mind when you do the burn and the test pieces. You have to use exactly the same wood species like on the skate decks. But now let's talk about the setup. And I started with 400 mm per second and 80% of power, 300 dpi of the picture, and the burn was not perfect. It's too light, I lost a lot of detail, and that means the speed was too fast, so I had to decrease the speed by half to 200 mm per second, but I increased the power by 10%, 90% of power, and the burn was better. It's darker but not perfect. I have still a loss in detail, it's a bit blurry, not what I'm looking for, so I decided to decrease the speed again to 150 mm per second. Slower speed, more detail, but I had to decrease the power again because 90% was too much. I used 70% of power, and now the burn is perfect, super crisp, super sharp. Also in the black details, that's what I'm looking for. And underneath is a small stripe with plus 1 centimeter of focal length. That is what I was talking about when I showed you the banana. And that's the focal length on the edge of the skateboard. And as you can see, it gets blurry. So I had to do a real test burn on the skateboard, and I decided to do it on the front. On the skate deck, because here there will be grip tape, so it's not visible. And now compare these two, and as you can see, I lost again a lot of detail on the skate deck compared to my test panel, and that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about focal length. But now let's compare it again to the curved test piece, and that looks nearly perfect also on the edges, so I'm in good hope that the burn went well. And yeah, let's try it, let's find it out, and let's have some fun on the skate deck. I'm super nervous. It's my first time doing a laser skate deck, and I don't want to waste the deck, so I did the measurements several times that I can be sure that the deck is dead center. But now it's time to play and to hit the start button. Check this out! How cool is this? The complete skateboard engraved with my artwork. I never imagined how cool this can be. Now let's do the beauty shots, and then let's hang it on the wall. And if you consider buying the laser engraver, the xTool D1 Pro with the extension, find the link underneath the video. You help also doing my videos because I get a small commission. That would be great. It took me 5 days to do the artwork and another 2 days for the video, so I would be very thankful. And yeah, I hope you had fun. See you in the next one. Goodbye.